but I'm going to say, what's up, everybody? I want everybody to go, what's up? Okay? Can you guys work with me? Can we be in this together?
We can.
We can? Oh, let's try this.
No, we can.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Yeah. Welcome to the Blackstone Launchpad. We are a startup idea and coaching center. And every single day from 12 to 1, we have amazing speakers, including student ventures and founders, come in to inspire, equip, and teach other students and show them what they're doing. So today, we have Simon Pacheco. Is that correct?
Correct.
Give him a round of applause. What's up? Looking nice and the best. He is the founder, and he is the coder of the new app, ScholarBounty's. ScholarBounty. It's organized 10,000 assignments already within 1 week, 500 downloads. He launched this app while studying at UCF and teaching himself how to code in between classes and everything else. So he's going to share his story, share his experiences, and we're going to be able to ask him questions. So without further ado, give one more round of applause for Simon.
I'd like to thank you for the introduction and being invited to speak here. So the title is Learning to Code, Building a Team, Time Management Principles for Success. All right, so we'll just get through it. All right, so basically the outline that I'm going to speak about today is, the introduction, learning to code, what I did to learn to code, creating the app, forming a team, time management tips, and what's next for us. So let's start. All right, so again, my name is Simon Pacheco. I'm a computer science student here at UCF. Besides being a student here, I'm also a software engineer, specifically an iOS developer. Before I got into software engineering, from about 2009 to 2012, I started and ran a e-commerce business that we sold a bunch of electronics on the internet, mainly to buyers in China, Russia, Ukraine, Australia. And it generated a lot of money, but it eventually failed. It wasn't a scalable business. But what I did learn from that is I always loved doing business on the internet. I could set my own schedule. I could wake up whenever I wanted. I could, work at a bar, work at a coffee shop, do whatever I want. And making money in my sleep was one of the best parts. So, after I realized that I really like doing business on the internet, I started. I wanted to learn how to code because I just wanted to pursue internet entrepreneurship further. So in summer 2012, I started learning how to code. I figured if I learned how to code, I could talk about some of the ideas, or not talk about, I could code up some of the ideas that I've been thinking about, and I always thought about ideas. So the first thing that I did was I went out and I looked for free resources on learning how to code. One of the free resources that I first learned is called Code Academy. Is anybody here familiar with Code Academy? Cool. Yeah, Code Academy is a pretty cool site. You go on there, you learn how to code some different languages. As you progress through it, you earn achievements, you create cool things. It's very good for beginners. Gets you familiar with the syntax for some of the structure of programming. It teaches a various amount of languages. It teaches Python, which is a highly versatile language. It's highly recommended for beginners because it's very simple and easy to read. But just because it's simple, it doesn't mean you can't do advanced things with it. Because actually, my first professor here at UCF, he was a computer vision researcher. And he did a lot of computer vision, teaching computers to see in Python. And then there's next is JavaScript, which is mainly the language of the web. It was used for a lot of front end stuff, but now with Node.js, a lot of people are doing back end stuff too. So watch out for JavaScript. It's gonna be, I think that language is gonna grow really fast. It's already growing super fast. And then finally, there's HTML, CSS, which is not really a programming language. It's more of like a markup. You design your website, stuff like that. But I mean, when you're creating a website, design is very key to it. So that's what Code Academy looks like. You go through little segments, and then it gives you scenarios that you have to fulfill. This one is like a Batman guessing game, It's very fun, very cool. Definitely recommended Code Academy. Another good one, learning code, is Coursera. Coursera actually offers a lot of different courses, real-world courses taught by real-world professors at prestigious universities such as Stanford and Harvard. They offer like a real curriculum with lectures, problem sets, and even at the end you can get a certificate for completing it. And so basically, once you get down to basic fundamentals of coding, like variables, if-else, functions, all that stuff, then you have to start honing your problem-solving skills, because programming is 95% problem-solving, 5% typing. All right, so then, yeah, improving your problem-solving skills will help you code more efficiently with less bugs. Some free resources for improving your problem-solving skills include Project Euler, Code Shed, and finally, recommend if you're trying to learn how to code, look up some discrete mathematics. It teaches the kind of thinking. I mean, it gets a little deep sometimes, but definitely is like good practice to learn to code. Then finally, there's the route that I took after I did some of the self-learning stuff. I actually became a computer science student here. UCF actually has one of the best computer science schools in Florida. Definitely one of the best on the east side of the United States. And it's good for like people that the whole self-learning thing. For me personally, it's kind of hard to do it myself because I'm the kind of person that needs like homework and assignments and exams so I can like buckle down. So it's a good way to learn how to code. I mean, definitely at least a minor, because once you get into the major, like some of the advanced courses get really deep into theory. But these are some of the most beneficial courses, Intro to C, object-oriented, data structures, and algorithms. And finally, you can make a lot of good connections studying computer science. That could lead to possible business partners, team members, referrals, for internships, etc. All right, so this is benefits of learning.
Did you learn data structures while you were before this?
Yes. Yeah, I took CS1 first, and then I took discrete structures the next semester. So yeah.
I meant like when you study.
Syntax. So it's good for it's good for getting started, and then you can take it even further with Coursera. Like they offer discrete math classes. They offer more advanced courses like data structures and algorithms. So yeah, I mean you don't have to go the route of signing up for computer science, but it's not a bad idea. Anybody here a computer science student? I think I've seen you in some of my courses.
It happened that first semester.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's essentially what I did. I became a computer science student, but it's not necessary, with all the free resources out there. But yeah, I mean, learning to code is very good. Like first, you can hack together some prototypes, which is a very good thing to know if you want to start a business out of it. Second, I feel like it's a lot easier to find coders to join your team if you're a coder yourself. But like I said, it's not 100% necessary. And then, knowing the development process, you can give, you can follow along with what the programmers are doing as they're building their product. And then finally, just being able to come up with cool hacks. Like I have this monitor at home that it's a vertical monitor and it's also horizontal. So instead of, I'm too lazy to hit settings and display and change and all that. Like I just created a little program at home that click a button and it just rotates it for you, like display. So it's definitely good benefits learning code. All right, so this is what happened next. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I would always try and come up with ideas that I wanted to create. So around spring 2013, I wanted to create an app that allows students to enter their grades and then compare themselves to other students. After creating a proof of concept, I realized that getting users to put in their grades required too much work on their part. It's not really solving a problem. Two, ranking grades isn't really that cool to begin with, and I wanted to make a cool app. And three, it's not listed there, but grades are very sensitive information, so you can't really I'm sure UCF wouldn't like that. So finally, so for 6 months, I went back to the drawing board, and in October 2013, I changed the concept, but kept students in mind still. All right, so this is what we came up with. The one on the left is our logo. The one on the right is our icon. So I never knew how to code an app before. Like, I knew how to code, but I just never knew how to do iOS development specifically. And the assignments in computer science, they're not really, you don't really make apps in computer science. You solve more like, you do more like math problem kind of solving, and a lot of computation, but you don't really create apps. So I had a lot to learn. This is actually the first app I've ever created. And so in April 2014, about 6 months ago, I wrote the first line of code. I felt completely clueless, but just knowing how to code and having decent problem-solving skills helped immensely. The hard part wasn't the coding; it was actually learning the iOS framework, learning like how to tie together your app and your scenes. Like you go from one screen to the other. That was definitely the hardest part. So, but I would code 5 days a week, sometimes up to 12 to 14 hours at a time. Involved a lot of caffeine, a lot of breaks. But yeah, so the second hardest part was the design. I'm not a graphic designer by any means, so we went through several iterations. Like this one right here, this is what it first looked like. Like obviously you see right here, it's not even formatted. This, I don't even know what's going on there. This doesn't have a title. And so that was the first iteration, right? This was like 2 months in, right? And then it turned into this, a little bit cleaner. It's still basic. It doesn't have a title. It has a check mark. It has the classes, the due time. So it's a little bit more structured, but it's still very basic. And this was like what we, this was our next phase. We tried making it like green is like, all right, you're fine, it's turned in. Red is like, all right, you need to hurry up and finish this. Yellow is like medium, but I went on the UCF computer science page and asked like what they thought about it, and some people were telling me like, oh, well, I mean, it's cool and all, but we're not really feeling the design. So this is what we eventually came up with several months later. You see, here you can change your courses either 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, or the whole semester. Not your course, I'm sorry, like when your assignments are due. This is priority, if you want the higher priority first, it organizes it like that. But if you want it by course, you can, it'll organize it by all your courses. And it's pretty neat, because we integrate with Canvas using their API. When you click this, it actually takes you to the Canvas app in your phone. If you either have the Canvas app in your phone, or if you don't, it'll take you to the WebCourses website. They'll open up the browser and the Safari browser. And you can actually see the information for your grades. Like here at homework 3, I could essentially click on it, and it will pull up Canvas and show me exactly what homework 3 consists of. So our app integrates with Canvas for a lot of things like this. Like if it's graded, then yes. So click to view grade. It'll take you to Canvas. It'll take you to the Canvas app, and you can see all your grades. So we also have a calendar right here. I don't really have a lot of assignments these next couple of weeks, but due on the 16th, if they're ready to compile at least part 4 of it. I'm not looking forward to that, but yeah. And then this is like the third feature. Notifies you, like tells you if your assignments are coming up, like due in 4 hours. This one was due in 24 hours. So it's just like a cool app that it just makes it very simple to get organized. You don't have to do any of the work. Like here's more stuff. So we set out to solve problems. Students were missing assignments and not being organized, leading to poor grades. But getting organized is much easier said than done. Students don't want to put in all their assignments manually. It takes too much work. It's a waste of time that can be spent doing more productive things. ScholarBounty imports and organizes all your assignments in under 10 seconds. When you turn in the assignment, Scholar Bounty automatically detects that you have done so and puts it in the completed category. And after doing some research, we realized that the average user has over 25 assignments in one semester. So flipping back and forth between syllabi, web courses, etc., you can take hours to set up all your assignments. And in 1 week, we've already organized 10,000 assignments. So trying to do that by hand would just probably take months. So, so that is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it so you could easily get organized. You know, we heard some feedback from Canvas users, the Canvas app users, that they felt that it was just too bloated. You know, you had to click through your courses and then get all your assignments. So we just wanted to make it, you know, simple. You know, as soon as you open your app, here it is. Boom. You know, if you want to go to your calendar, you go to your calendar. And it reminds you. So our app, like, you don't really need to do a lot of work to get it set up. Yeah, you can have manual assignments if you want, in case your professor doesn't actually upload it to web courses, but that's not necessary. All right, so so also part of the talk was finding business partners. Team up with people who complement your abilities, right? I'm a software engineer. I can talk coding all day and night. I can't really do the same for business and finance. So it's good to have a well-rounded team. Also, teaming up with business people, it offers a different perspective. You know, they can give you good advice on what you should be coding. You know, user-wise, like they just have good skills when it comes to marketing, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. So definitely, it's good to have a well-balanced team, a well-rounded team. And finally, like business people, they know the money, so so they have possible, you know, revenue streams to open up. Right now, our app doesn't make any money. There's no ads. It's free. So it just really started as a project at home. And then, you know, team up with people that have the same vision as you, dream big together, work hard together, and finding coders. So try and find coders that are, you know, have good skills. That's essential. But, you know, there's a lot of people that program that have like tough time like communicating, you know, other people. They can talk computers all day, but you know, it's hard for them to communicate back and forth. So you definitely want to find people that are sharp, but also, you know, good communication is key. But the thing is, coding isn't cheap, and it's almost never free. A lot of people, unfortunately, won't really work for equity. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but that's just what I've grasped. All right, and then a lot of them hang out at the ACM Club, UCF, Computer Science Facebook group, Orlando Tech, etc. And finally, outsourcing to third world countries, a lot of times it leads to garbage code, you know, insecure code. You don't want holes in your database where people can just pry into it all the time. So a lot of times you have to end up rewriting your whole code base. So even though $10 an hour is tempting, you know, a lot of times it just leads to bad code. Definitely. And then finally, just start networking with computer science students if you're trying to find coders, you know. Like I said, a lot of them hang out at ACN, the Facebook group, Orlando Tech. And there's, like I said earlier, UCF's a really good school for computer science. Actually, our programming team, we're always in competition, going to the world finals. And we always like rank similar or even higher sometimes in schools like MIT, Stanford. So like finding software engineering people here at UCF you're in a good spot, you know, because they're really good here. All right. Okay, so I'll just talk a little bit about like my first business partner. So after coding for a couple of months, I realized that I couldn't do all of it myself. So I contacted a close friend of mine who I met in some of my computer science courses. My friend Phil Haro, I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was the first person that joined us. He's a finance major, computer science minor. So not only could he come up with business strategies, he could also help me code a little and give me ideas on solving some of the coding problems that we face. I would continue coding the app throughout the summer while coming up with some business strategies with Phil. All right. So then, after realizing that I could not code the app and manage the business side of things, like I said, I recruited my friend Phil, but it still wasn't enough help. So just this last month, we also recruited another person, my friend Omer Lebron. He's a computer science student, like me, but he's also a double major in business administration. So he's gonna help code, because there's a lot of feedback on our app. People are saying, oh, well, they want to see this, they want to see that, and I can't do it all for myself, especially being a student. So we brought him on the team. All right, so basically just forming a team, like, make sure you have a clear idea of the task that you're trying to do. Delegate what you're not suitable for. For example, I've been doing all the software engineering, while the other two have been writing the executive summary and making financial predictions to show to investors. Schedule weekly meetings to keep your team up to date, keeping everyone on the same page. Finally, take good care of your team. They're the people that are in it with you. There's no reason to have bad chemistry. You'll never work out in this. You have to definitely have good chemistry with them. Take good care of them. Don't be afraid to talk to people who can help you. Like I told the idea to one of my friends who's pretty wealthy, and he loved it so much that he's actually flying us out to Fort Lauderdale in the next couple of weeks to meet with some other, pretty wealthy people that actually love our idea too. All right, time management tips. All right, so basically, I took the summer off from school, so I wasn't in school, which helped a lot actually. But the summer is actually a hard time to create projects like this when it comes to being tempted to go out every night and sleep till 1. For the summer, my time management mainly consisted of take advantage of 24 hours in a day. A lot of times I would be up until 6 a.m. working, coding, designing, all sorts of different things, and just try and minimize as much distractions as possible. I'm not best at working at home, so a lot of times I'd go to a coffee shop. There's this really cool one in Winter Park that's open 24 hours a day, so that was a good one. Library, of course. And then just take small breaks after working for long periods of time. Give your brain a rest. It's pretty, a lot of that stuff's pretty common sense. But then school started back up. At this point, the version 1.0 was 80% done. So this was like the hardest part, being in school and working on this app, because a lot of times I'd be coding the app when I should have been studying. So unfortunately, this led to a slight decrease in performance in school. It's kind of ironic considering I'm trying to help students get organized. But I sacrificed a little bit of my grades to try and finish this up as fast as possible. But make studying and homework the #1 priority. Try and go to all your classes. Again, this is all common sense stuff, but very important too. Schedule your day around your studies and then your app. Take turns prioritizing each. And finally, there's like a Pomodoro technique. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but essentially you work for like 30 minutes, then you take a 2-minute break, then you work for like another 30 minutes, take another 2-minute break, and then finally you work for another 30 minutes, and then you take a 15-minute break. Has anybody heard of that before? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, definitely helped me out a lot, because just after a while I just get burnt out. Like, it's just tough sometimes looking at a computer for so long, but yeah. All right, so try and outsource as much as you can. Besides the coding, like I said earlier, well, there's nothing wrong with outsourcing your code, but try and keep it local. That way you can communicate well. There's no barriers in time where you're talking to people in China that are 12 hours ahead of time or behind. And then the logo and the icon, I paid those people to create that because A, I just didn't have time to focus on designing them myself, and B, like, these people are much better at that than I am. So outsource as much as you can. But make sure you save some time for your friends. Have fun still. Don't focus all your efforts on your projects. Sometimes you need a break. And finally, keep chasing the vision. And if you're motivated, managing your time will come automatically, because there's just something that we want to keep working on. Some people ask me like how I stay motivated. And to be honest with you, just as you're coding an app, you just are coding features and you see like what you're building right in front of you. You can use it every day. So it's just like, oh, like a lot of times I'll be like looking at my app, I'll be like, oh, well, you know, I should probably work on this. You know, it's not, I could definitely fix this. So I'll just go and hop on the computer for 20 minutes, whatever, and then just make little changes like that. So what's next? All right, so currently the app is only 5% of what we want to do with ScholarBounty, right? Like, we just wanted to get it out there, you know, help students get organized, but we have some big plans. We're working hard to bring an app that you guys will all love, but yeah, the version out there right now is very basic. Also just bug fixes, improvements, implementing features people suggest, working on the business side of things, business plan, executive summary, you know, so we can try and raise some money. So yeah. All right, so finally, connect with me, find me in the sign-up check on LinkedIn. Feel free to email me anything you want. I'll try and answer all your questions. I love connecting and networking with people. Finally, download the app. Has anybody here used it already? Oh, you did? Cool. All right, so, well, download it. You know, a lot of people say it helps them out a lot. So right now we're available for iOS and plan on coming out with an Android version sometime in the near future. And that's pretty much all presentation-wise, but I can answer as many questions as possible.
What is your favorite programming language besides Objective-C?
I like Java. Java's a cool language, you know. It's how do I say it? Like, you can write stuff with I don't want to say short amount of code because there's like a lot of boilerplate, but compared to lower level languages like C, where you literally have to pretty much write everything, I would say Java. Python's another cool one. That one is definitely up there. And that's pretty much it. I just mainly code in C, Java, Python, depending on either schoolwork or.
And did you learn like Objective-C just for iOS, or you just picked?
Like for the app?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned Objective-C to create the app. So that was also a hard part.
Do you find that there are a lot of people in the coding community and the developer community, they're like going out and starting things just because, you know, apps are so big right now?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think so. You know, some people will create apps, you know, just because they're bored. Like, that's essentially what I did. I just created this app because I was bored over the summer. So yeah, it's good to know how to code because when you have ideas, you can create pretty much anything. You can create it in your dorm, your apartment, wherever, you know. So I definitely feel that people are creating lots of apps because it is a rising market.
Do you, of those people that are creating things, do you see a lot of them like not really paying attention to the business side, or like are they some concerned with it? Like, what do you see?
I would say that for me personally, I focused more on the coding side of things. You know, I love coding. I'm not really too crazy into business and marketing and all that. So I would definitely see that a lot of people out there would just focus straight on coding and not focus on like business side of things. Like me, like I hate writing, so writing a business plan for me is just kind of boring. So, but I love coding. Yeah.
Have you thought about expanding to different universities?
I have. That's actually down the road. Canvas is used at 1,000 universities in the United States. It's also used worldwide. Like when I was down in Colombia over the summer, I talked to my cousins about what I was doing, and they, I was like, yeah, I'm creating this app that connects to this university system. And I was like, it's called Canvas, and they're like, Canvas? I was like, yeah. I had to like double check that they knew exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, that's definitely in our goals. We just figured we'd start at UCF first.
Did you talk to the school at all, or did you do any research on any
Like the
kind
technical side of things?
Yeah.
Well, I posted on Reddit. I posted on Reddit a while ago about the idea, and some people were, telling me, oh yeah, you should definitely get the school involved. And somebody messaged me about that, telling me to reach out to the information security office, and I did. Unfortunately, I never got a response back because I'm sure they're really busy. But I contacted. I told them exactly what we wanted to do, exactly what we're doing. One of the higher ups at Kansas is actually the one that helped me get the developer license with Kansas. So yeah, I definitely researched that side of things. Last thing I want to do is get kicked out of school over something like this.
Yeah. Could you foresee any issues for schools or students? What do you think could be some threats to it?
Just mainly, I definitely have to sit down and see what UCF thinks about it. I want to go down that path too. Like, I'm not creating some app that, is trying to hurt anything, I definitely want to protect myself. I don't want to get kicked out of school, nothing like that. I mean, essentially with like the API that's out there, and Canvas has advertised out there that they want to build a developer, community. There's over 140 different apps out there that connect to Canvas. So, I'm not like the only one doing it.
What are some tips that you might have in, let's say you're not a computer programmer, you know nothing about coding, but you have a lot of cool ideas, you're a business or marketing major, and you want to team up with some programmers. What are some realistic, approaches? What I'd like to know is, I might think an idea is cool, right? And I might be excited about it, but the programmers have to find something that's really an incentive for them, right?
Correct.
To be motivated.
Correct.
What would be the best way? Obviously, money always talks, but you don't have a lot of money. What could the approach or conversation?
Well, that's kind of hard to answer, because I know a lot of people out there want to give up equity, for coding, and a lot of computer science people are kind of wary of that because I guess a lot of times they feel that they're doing a lot of the work, but they're not really getting a lot of percent. Like, I've heard people throw out like 5%, 10% just because it's their idea, and it's like realistically, like, the coding of it is going to be like at least 75% of what it takes to create it. So definitely, as great as ideas are, definitely try and see from the programmer's perspective that they're snatching programmers away to go to Google and Facebook and Microsoft, paying them $6,000-7,000 a month. And B, just like a lot of programmers are really busy. So I would definitely say, realistically, try and find people that can connect you to programmers instead of, it's one of those things where you kind of have to like know somebody.
Yeah, because you can say, well, get together the team, get the programmer, get the marketing, get the business person, but in practice, something that would have longevity seems a little bit more.
Yeah, like definitely finding programmers is a difficult task, which is why I highly recommend to learn some coding. Just it's really not as, it is, coding does get very deep. A lot of like deep PhD level stuff, but just creating like a basic app, like that's something you can definitely just practice, and it's not as hard as people think it can be. So definitely try and learn some sort of coding, because like I said earlier, if you know how to code yourself, it's easy to find other programmers, because now like not only are you relying on them to code all your work, but now you can code. So for example,
language too.
Yeah, exactly. So I found 2 other coders, just because I was the one that did the coding. So it was just pretty simple from that perspective.
I think one of the ways, of course, the problem is if you don't have any programming background, and if you have an idea, you can do like value research on and get people excited, or you can build like a prototype without having like a rapid prototyping and show it to developers and say, this will people enjoy it, would you like to be part of it, and by this time you actually done stuff much work other than saying an idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. I know, I know that's kind of, I know a lot of people might not want to try and learn to code, but I definitely think you should pick it up. It's pretty fun too. Like, it's not like, I don't know. It's nice creating stuff that you can use every day.
How do you protect your app and the legal side?
Legal side?
Yeah, the legal side, like trademark, copyright.
We haven't actually done any of that yet. Yeah, like I said, this started as just a project over the summer. But right now we're actually teaming up with somebody that he has more money, more resources to help bankroll that side of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I definitely probably could have done things a little bit more like trademarking, copywriting, and all that. But just as a student, it's just like kind of hard with like the money being tight. And like I said, this just started as an app that I coded over the summer because I just got bored at home.
You mentioned finding people that could see your vision or have your same vision. How would you recommend that we go about finding coders that may have the same vision as us?
Don't be afraid to talk about your ideas. I know a lot of people are scared that if you give your ideas to the wrong person, somebody might steal it. So, I mean, if you think about it, like, if you don't talk to anybody, like, how's it ever going to evolve into anything else? As a business person, I would definitely say, like, try and network. It's kind of hard to answer that kind of question because I myself am a software engineer, but I guess just try and network as much as possible.
What was the name of the company that you used to create the logo and?
It was this. The logo was this company out of Argentina called Netman Corp. I found them on Elance. I worked with them in the past. And then the icon was this guy out of Germany who made the icon for us.
If you want to learn how to code, but you're only interested in being able to do like rapid prototypes, just making things look good so we can use it, you're not really interested in making like huge databases or any, you're not really worried about the formulas behind it, whether you can store anything. You're just worried about like delivering a message, shooting an advertisement to a phone. What I know there's something called like front end and back end.
Right.
What should you focus on if you're not really focused on being a true like database guy?
It's kind of hard. How do I say it? Like, there's definitely some rapid prototyping frameworks out there. There's like Ruby on Rails that a lot of people have used to create, simple web applications. But not only just simple, like they're pretty powerful too. So I would just start by doing, instead of like trying to read a book over it, just watch as many YouTube videos as possible. Just use Stack Overflow. There's a lot of free resources out there.
To add to the answer this question as well, the way that I do it is like I'm working an app, but I'm not really a programmer. So what I do is I use a prototyping tool called Sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's UX designers use it. So it looks and behaves the way it only takes like 30 minutes to build it.
Oh, I think I've heard of those. Yeah, those are definitely good. What he's saying is there's these these websites that you can actually build a prototype. Just click a button, takes you to the next page. It shows like everything what you're trying to do, and that's definitely a good thing. Like if you can create something like that, that will definitely take you much farther than just having the idea. So, and those are actually pretty cool.
And then you can do some testing and user. They were not.
What's the app called?
I'm sure AXURE.
Yeah. Anybody else have questions?
Can you tell us about your design process, like like you
The coding or like the actual design?
actually, like let's say when you start an app, do you like draw each?
Yeah, definitely with coding, like you definitely want to plan as you go. You want to, like I have whiteboard in my house, like whiteboard is like key when it comes to coding, you can draw what you want, and then you plan out your algorithms. So yeah, so how I started was I looked into the Canvas API. I read about it. I read how it works. That was A. B. I started designing like on paper. Like I put like I want a button here. I want this. I like how it works. Flow charts, or even just like like little mock-ups of what the screen itself would look like, and then wireframe, correct? Yeah.
All right, let's say hypothetically you weren't working with ScholarBounty, and I wanted to get you on my team. If I could convince you that I would have a multi-million-dollar business, would you take like 25, 30%, and like let's say share profits? What would I have to do to get you on my team?
Well,
I want to add something right here. The average idea is worth 10 to 15%, period. That's what the idea is worth. So if you just bring the idea as the founder, and we're looking at what, that would be worth, we'd say 10 to 15 for the idea.
yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to, sound like, that's a hard question to answer.
I just want to make a comment to that, because when I did a talk here, I got asked that same question for as a programmer. I would have to see that you put in almost an equal amount of effort.
Definitely.
Making the business plan, having something down there, not just an idea. Like even filing the paperwork to start the business.
Yeah.
Just like a good show of faith that you've done something other than having an idea.
Yeah, have you gone out and have you done due diligence? Like, did you build a slide presentation and did you go out and show that? Do you have clients waiting? What have you done as a founder? Right? Not to say that you would only have 10%, because you could have done a lot. You could have already validated your idea without coding at all.
You should at least have a business plan that has to do everything.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, like coding, like they're saying, coding takes a lot of time. It's not just sitting at home just typing away at a keyboard. Like like this app. It's basic as it seems, where it just has a calendar, notifications, and your assignments. It probably took me at least 100+ hours, 120 hours. It took me 6 months. Part of it was just learning how to code iPhone apps in general. There's just definitely a lot of like it's more than just like typing up. So that's a problem with like finding if you don't really have like money up front to pay a coder, it's really hard to get somebody on your team for that. But yeah, like everybody else is saying, like you said specifically, make sure that you're hustling really hardcore, match as much work as they're doing. There's been plenty of successful multi-billion-dollar companies out there that have been started by people that didn't know how to code, and the key thing I saw from them is they knew how to hustle.
I'm kind of going through that process now, like bringing on a developer and a designer. And I found that with the designer, I'm like, okay, we might need stickers, we might need flyers. I'm trying to figure out what's all of the work that's going to need to be done so that it's just and equitable for everyone who's part of the partnership. But with the development, it's I want to build an MVP, a minimum viable product, and then once it's up, I don't know what's going to change.
Yeah,
a lot of things are going to change.
Yeah, definitely. Coding's one of those things that it's just kind of a shame, where you kind of have to know. I mean, you don't have to, but how do I answer it? Knowing as much as possible will take you very far if you want to create app ideas or websites. You don't have to be a computer science student people out there. You can definitely learn on your own, but try and learn at least just so you can speak the same languages as them.
Yeah, Intro to C was an amazing class.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah, I feel like I understand. It's on the fundamental level.
Yeah, for sure. Like Intro to C is a great starting course. Also, there's object-oriented programming. That's a good one. You know, object-oriented is key. Like pretty much every app nowadays uses object-oriented programming concepts.
And the classes, foundation, discrete math, so you don't necessarily need to, I know discrete structure requires a calc too. So foundational discrete math is very simple. It basically will capture all the data structures and algorithms. So that's.
Well, yeah, it helps. Yeah, discrete definitely like it helps with kind of like the thinking behind coding. Like it's very like mathematical in the sense of like you don't really program in that course, but it definitely like wires your brain into thinking like in the way of coding. It's a pretty cool course. But you know, as a matter of fact, you only need pre-calc and trig for that course. You don't need calc. Yeah, discrete structure one. Yeah, so it's pretty cool course. But if you're not trying to do all that, then I would definitely at least take like Intro to C or even object oriented. Like discrete structure is good and all of it. Coding. Maru Guha, for sure. It's hard, but he's good. One of the best professors here at UCF. The best. He's in charge of like the computer science like foundation exam, which is this test we have to take to get to upper level. He knows a lot. He's a very good professor. Also, Dr. Logo is also a really good one too. I recommend him as well. He is the kind of professor that when you are he will take time out of his day and hold meetings, like hour-long, 2-hour-long meetings, teaching you how to code if you have any questions, like outside of his time, you know, he goes out of his way to teach you that. Guha is the first one. Guha is really good. He also helps you out too. He's one of the best here. The other guy that I said that holds a meeting, his name is Lobo. Yeah. Any other questions?
So my question is kind of along the same lines of what John was saying. I think that founders, especially non-technical founders, go around talking about how they need a programmer, like the way you talk about, oh, I need a cup of coffee, or like they grow on trees or something, and you can just like, you know, get one to come work for you because your idea is so awesome.
Yeah.
So for a great programmer to want to go work with somebody, what would they need to know about the venture, and how would they need to be treated and kind of viewed as a partner?
I don't want to sound like, I don't know, I don't want to sound arrogant or anything like that. Essentially, I hope people realize that, you know, coding is really like I said, 75%, 80% are just starting up. You know, I mean, like if you have an awesome app idea, like, yeah, you have a great idea, but you don't have an app, so what are you gonna do next? So I would definitely say, like, I guess just realize that coding isn't cheap, you know. I guess treat them good. I don't want to get too far into that just without sounding like I'm being a jerk. But
yeah, if you don't mind me saying something about that as well. One of the things that gets me as a programmer, like the first thing that I look for in a team of like business people, is that the difference between programmers and business people is like this gigantic gap. Like there's a gigantic gap between the two. So you need to learn, in what Simon was saying earlier, learning programming isn't only just beneficial for you, but to be able to talk to that person on that level, because most programmers speak a completely different language, not just in the fact that, like, you know, we talk like this, but just the methodical and the way that we think. You have to get down to that level, and learning programming is like the only way you can do that. So
yeah, unfortunately, I hate to give that message. You know, I mean, it's not impossible to create apps. You know, as a business person, like it's not impossible at all. It's definitely like a high barrier to.
So it's easier to sell yourself as a business person to someone else that can give you money, so that you can bring money to the programmer and they'll understand that, right?
Yeah, but a lot of if you come up with money, I'll code anything.
That's the answer.
Or customers, market validation.
I think just to make another comment on that, as a programmer, people are constantly coming up and saying, oh, I have this great idea, I have this great idea. We've pretty much heard all these ideas numerous times, and we also have tons of our own ideas. So why spend our time working for free for somebody else when we can just spend that same time on our own idea? And that's really why it's got to be something big, and you guys have had to do the due diligence to maybe think, okay, I want to help you guys out.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, that's very true. Like, I've heard a lot of ideas. I've had people like message me saying, hey, we have this idea for an app, can you help me? You know, like, well, you know, full-time student, I'm working on my own thing, like, I don't know how much I can help, you know. If you have money, then maybe. I'm not even trying to sound greedy, it's just like.
But that's another
That's
way.
the reality, though.
That's another way you can do your evaluation. Like, if I've gone out and already got market validation, right? I've got some clients ready to be in the alpha or the beta. And I have got the brand and I've done a lot of work, right? And then I could kind of do financial projections and think about what I think this thing, I go get some estimates of what it's gonna cost me to create. Now I know what that dollar amount is that I've got to either come up with the equity or come up with cash for. So I'm either hiring someone or not. It's gonna be a percentage of what I think the company is worth, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna end up probably, because most people are gonna say they're gonna get some revenue. And if they've really done their homework, they've done more than just gotten an idea.
Exactly.
If you haven't got market validation, why are you starting to get a coder? That's crazy, right? That's what we teach you here. That's why hopefully you're coming in here, right? You can go out and get market validation. You can get a lot of things figured out before the person starts coding. And that's not to say that you can't be confirming your technical assumptions for a lot less money than coding. And you might be able to do that at a lot less things.
Yeah.
So there's lots of ways this can happen, because we might even find out that your technical assumptions, like mine in a venture I'm working on, were wrong, right? So just having those initial conversations. So I think it's really interesting, because I think there's a lot of different, you could start off with just a little bit of help that would give you a long way to figure out if you have something valuable.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you start having to have a full-time coder.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a lot of people out there that can give you, like, you know, ideas about what you should do on the technical side of things. Like I said, if you email me, I don't mind giving people ideas and stuff. You know, give people direction of where to go with their app. But just like coding it itself is just a very like time-consuming process, and just like I feel like as a programmer, a lot of times like we're kind of undervalued. You know, like they think that we just sit at the keyboard and type, but that's really like we're sitting at a keyboard and like building what you're trying to sell. You know?
So you have, let's say, designers, right, who thrive and get excited about making something look better, right, or making it look good, making it attractive, basically selling it visually, right. Then you have your business folks who think of ideas, maybe connect certain dots, see certain needs in the market, and all that. Right? So those are things that motivate each of those people.
Correct.
What motivates programmers? What gets them excited? What drives them to want to do anything?
Well, for me, it was just like just every day, just building things that I could see helping other people. Or you mean like what motivates like
In
you're trying to
general,
find
like
a
the
programmer?
programming community, like what are some common things that, see, like I was able to identify some with designers and business. What can we say about programmers in general? I know it's vague and you can't put everyone in the same box, but what can you say?
I guess like if you have a really cool idea, you know. I mean, it's hard to answer that question. Like for me, it motivated me because, you know, truthfully, like I would just sit at home, you know, bored and like I was trying to get an internship over the summer, but that never happened. So I was just like, whatever, I'll just do my own thing, you know, because that's what I was telling us. So I guess, you know, You got it.
Lots of coffee, that's a good.
And opportunity,
That's
right?
it, yeah,
We're
that
looking
is
for
fun.
opportunity. It's opportunity cost. Do I
Yeah.
think your idea is gonna actually go somewhere? Or is this a dead end?
So, comments on that, what I find from my coworkers and everything, what excites us is the unknown. If it's something new and unknown and it can become a challenge, that's what we like to work on. But if it's the same hiring thing, like we want to make another thing that does X, Y, and Z.
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, reinventing the wheel is not exciting, but
That's really
And-
good feedback.
yeah.
So how novel is it?
And remembering as well that what you're doing with programming is it's a fully creational process, right? So you're starting from nothing. Like think about Facebook. Facebook at the very, very, very beginning was nothing. And now look at it, you know what I mean? And they went from 0 to hero, and just that feeling and being able to be a part of a team like that and in a creative environment that everyone is, working hard and doing something real, that's really motivating.
Yeah, for sure. Any other questions?
I just want to add that, like, I would also think about, like, giving the programmer the space to just do that thing that they're really good at doing.
Yeah.
Which is programming, and saying, there's all these pieces that need to come together to make this business successful. A big one is finding customers and telling them that, like, you don't need to worry about that. I'm taking care of that.
Yeah, exactly. That will bring you really far because, like business people, they're very valuable. Like me, like I said, I don't really like doing the business plan and like all that kind of stuff, financial. Like, not only don't I like doing that, but I'm not really good at that either. So that's why it's important to have a well-rounded team.
How many people are
3, 2, me and 2 others.
you trying to add more? Like,
Yeah, we actually we might be adding this guy out of South Florida, who he's got he also has that hustle. He's got a lot of money and just connections to a lot of money and a lot of Any other questions?
Thank you so much. We're so psyched to have you. And we want to sit down with you and talk more, right? Thank you guys. Remember that the whole idea around here is to plus each other. Tomorrow night, start our meetup, right? What time are they, Faladay? Start our meetup tomorrow night?
6:30.
6:30 in the CEL, right? So if you want to connect, talk more with other starters, make sure and get out there. What else do we want to know?
So this is where we give free coaching to all students who have ideas for websites, fashion lines, blogs, and the sort. So if you would like a free coaching appointment from experienced entrepreneurs, you can say hi to Shakira in the back. Everybody say, hey, Shakira.
Hey, Shakira.
So see her if you like to sign up for a free coaching appointment for your idea, blog, fashion line, mobile app, whatever you're working on. Simon, that means be with me today. I believe you have a coaching appointment. So elbow right here, elbow. So if you like a coaching appointment like him, you can see him. Yes, Phil.
Is there anything we can do to help Simon? Because he's been so giving today.
Yeah, Simon, what can we do to help you?
Down that.
All right, so everybody make sure you pull out your phones and download the app. If you would like to sign up for our newsletter to find out about more events just like this, you can say hi to the Shakira on this side. Everybody say, hey, this side, Shakira.
Hey,
this side, Shakira. All right, so we have a tradition at the Launchpad at the end of every single amazing event.
Name again of the guy?
ScholarBounty's.
ScholarBounty's.
Yeah.
At the end of every single amazing event, I play some hipster music. We head to the front. We take a picture to commemorate this moment. Will you guys help me out with that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Head to the front. John, take over. Tell us what to do, John.
All right, guys. Everyone wants to get a photo. Can you please head towards the front of the room and get as close to each other as possible? Please
Hey,
stay
Eddie, how's
here
it going?
and
Just
for
give me a few minutes
afterwards.
and I'll be right with you.
Everyone, all right. Perfect, thanks. All right, guys, let's get real close right here. I want to see anybody on the far right side. You guys go ahead. Here, speaker, Ron. Absolutely. All right, guys, okay, around next one. You're real close. You're real close.
Hands out, everybody, hands out, come on.
It's like 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning, where's my coffee? Where's my coffee? Here we go, thank you very much.
More people on UCF starters, if you want your picture on UCF starters, hit him up.
Yes, okay, now it's.
Yeah, I'll take it, but do you want to do what you see startup?
What does it entail?
Okay, so 2 things. It entails 10 to 15 minutes of time because we have to do an interview on one question. What are you working on inside? And then your photo outside, somewhere on campus, and put your contact information there. So that you can connect with you and maybe look forward reach out to you. And so basically, it's these. This is the format, but like not all of them are going to be on Facebook postings. We just that's just some of them. But it goes on the website. Yeah. All right. You can have time today, or do you want to do it before later in the week?
Probably later in the week. I'm meeting with you right now. Probably sometime at.
You know your availability?
Yeah. I'll be on campus tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow.
Maybe about 3:30. So we can do 3:30.
What's Thursday?
Bill, where is the mic cord?
You know what? Contact you better on Facebook or something like that. I'm sure we have your contact information. I'll reach out to you guys. Because, I want to get it, but like, I'm not here all the time. So like, but it's just in minutes. So I'll see you around. I'll contact you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be stopping by too. I'll probably come to campus earlier. Okay. So probably just stop by here a lot.
Hey. Have you gotten sponsored before?
I am meeting right now. First client, and now I'm sponsored.
You did it.
I have my first client.
Clients
event.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to ask if you want another client or if you just want to talk.
We could definitely talk.
All right, okay. Because my Wednesday goal is to start talking to sponsors. Never done it before, but it's time to make some.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah. But I'd like to include you in the conversation if you think you want to, take on more.
Yeah. No, we could definitely talk and just see where things go, see what your objectives are. But yeah, so I'm actually on it right now. So yeah, let's do it.